Welcome to the Wardenberg Family Farm. We're Dawn and Brenda. Today we're going to be pruning our blackberries.
Okay, so it looks like you're in a jungle there. Which side of the blackberries?
It is kind of a jungle. This is all the blackberries. But to get in and really prune them well, I'm going to have to prune my elderberries, which are a little out of control. They kind of went crazy this year.
Well, I've been concerned about how big they are for the garden. They seem like they're oversized.
Well, I'm going to experiment one more year and try tying them up. If I can have them tied up as they grow, they won't fall over as much. And if they don't fall over, they'll be fine.
Okay, why don't we do a compromise here?
Okay.
You keep yours in the garden here, but I propagate some others out in the orchard, and we'll see how they go. Well, and if you decide to yank them out, then you've got healthy.
Yeah, true. And today would be the day to propagate them, because all you do to propagate them is take cuttings, stick them in the ground. So we'll show you that at the end here, how we're going to propagate some elderberries. All right. But right now, I just got to start whacking them back.
So you can hear a lot of noise in the background. You might hear some buggies going by, and there's kids yelling and playing and having fun.
A lot of grandkids around.
Most of our grandchildren are here.
Now, I did an experiment with elderberries a few years ago. One expert on YouTube said to cut them off to the ground, and another one said leave about 18-24 inches. So I did 2 bushes one way, 2 bushes the other way. The ones I clipped to the ground fell over immediately. There was nothing to hold them up. The ones I left like 18 inches, it's like the stalks that were left gave some support to the new ones and kept them from falling over. So now I just trim them to like 18-24 inches. So I'll just whack them back, and any that are coming out toward the, like this guy's got to go. They do spread out. They get a little carried away. So I don't have a real rhyme or reason for this. I'm just cutting them back. And probably I'll do more in the spring when they start growing. I'll prune them kind of the way I want them to grow, so they don't get quite so far out of control.
So were you happy with your with the produce that came off these?
We have a million elderberries. Yeah, we got more than we know what to do with. And next year I want to harvest more of the flowers. There's medicinal value in the flowers too, elderflowers. And you can make really good elderflower tea. So I didn't harvest any of his flowers this year, but next year I will. I'll be harvesting some flowers. But this year I let them all go to berry.
Okay, so I have that power tool that has like a circular blade on the end, like a string trimmer.
You want to do that?
Should I just go in there and tap, tap, tap? And I mean,
since I'm not being real careful,
that's quite a tangled mess up under there. I don't.
Well, if you want to try it, see how it goes? That would be a lot quicker.
Probably.
And then we can get to the blackberries, the important part.
All right, let me get them, see how it goes.
All right, sounds good.
All right, chance to get the power tools out. So I'm going to try 2 methods. One's with a Sawzall, and I'll show you the next one up here. So we'll see how this works. That works pretty well, as long as horticulturally or whatever. So they don't depend on these, so you don't have to have a
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Cut, right?
I'm not sure exactly where the new growth comes from. This is what I did last year. It seemed to work really well, so we'll just do it again. Although I didn't use the Sawzall. We'll see how that does. But they seem pretty hardy. It seems like nothing can really hurt them. Yeah, all right.
Well, Sawzall method worked really well. Brenda said it's perfect because she hardly even broke a sweat.
I like this method. Have him do it.
All right, I'm going to try my steel power trimmer. I don't think it's going to work as well. This is excellent, but I have to try the other just to confirm.
Just to play with all your power tools.
Yeah.
That works.
Well, I was going to use my steel power tool, and I buy the steel equipment because they start and they're really reliable. Except today, I can't get this started, so we're not going to use it. But it's pretty amazing for cutting brush. It has a steel blade, and I think it would cut these okay. But I'm not too disappointed because that Sawzall is doing a great job. And I guess I'll just have to put this in the shop here and see when the mechanic comes by. Yeah. All right, what's the plan for the day?
The first thing I have to do is get rid of the bird scare tape, the shiny stuff you tie to it to scare the birds away. I think it does help, actually. So that's all off, but I also have to cut off all the tape that I used to hold this year's branches up to the string. Just a green, I think it's actually called an orchard tape or something. That's what it's for. So get that all off. Then we actually get to start pruning.
Okay, so those are holding this last year's.
Yep, the ones that had
canes.
berries on this past summer.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of blackberries.
Okay.
Our blackberries have been very, very healthy.
Yeah. So is the pruning strategy the same for all the brambles here?
For me it is.
Okay.
I don't see a whole lot of difference. And I mean, I think they're the same. That's what I've done, and they've all really, I'm not an expert, but that's what I've done every year, and they have done exceedingly well. So.
Well, in my book, that makes you an expert.
Yeah.
If it works well.
It's good enough.
Yeah.
But this part here is kind of a pain, just getting the old stuff out and seeing what you, and then you see what you have.
All right, so some of these have thorns and some don't, right?
These blackberries are thornless, so it's nice trimming this stuff. Trimming the black raspberries that have thorns on, not so much fun, but these aren't too bad. Okay, so I think I have all the tape off. It's time to start cutting out some blackberry vines, or branches, whatever they're called. Okay, first thing you do is cut out any branches that had berries on this year, because they bloom, they give berries on second year branches. So anything that had berries on this year, I cut off clear to the ground. So this is the tricky part. You kind of trace it down, try to find where it is in the ground and cut it off level. So it's kind of like looking for something in a jungle.
All right, so is there an easy way to determine which are the current year canes?
Well, the current year canes, first of all, they don't have any berries on. You can see there's still berry stubble down there. So I know that one bore berries. And usually these look browner, but it's kind of early, they aren't really browned yet. But the fresh branches do look greener and fresher.
Okay, so what do you got going?
Well, I traced the one clear down to the base. Here's one of the old ones, and you can see it's brownish.
All right, so you're gonna try the
I'll try the little guy,
lopper.
see if I can get it. It's easier with the big ones. Here.
Okay.
This is much easier.
All right. There you go. The pro knows best.
So, there's one old branch, and there's a weed. That's not supposed to be in there. And I see another old branch over here. Second year branch. Cut that. I mean, it's nice once you get the old stuff out. Then you can really see what you have. I'm going to pull him out from the other side.
Okay. Oh yeah, that really does clean it up. Now they're all nice green with a little bit of vibrant purple
There's still
on
some
them.
old ones in there.
Yeah. Well, we also have that wooden brace going across it, so the next one might be easier to see.
Like there's a little old one out of there. And one more little one. But yeah, see, he still has...
So you trim them right to the ground. There's no benefit.
No, because they're done. After they give their berries, there's no use to have them in there. So then, after I get all the dead last year ones out, then I start working on what's going to happen for next year and make it good for next year.
Okay.
But first, got to get rid of all the old crappy ones.
So you're going to go down the whole row to get rid of the junk?
Yep.
And then the fun part starts.
Yes, this is kind of a pain in the butt part.
Yeah.
But you got to do it to get it out. Plus, you can see what you're doing then. And you see how many weeds have grown.
Yeah.
They've been hiding in here. So, cut, cut, cut.
You know, some of those, they look like new ones to me. They're green, but you look up top and they have berries on them.
Yep. Like this whole big hunkin' thing here has to go.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Wow, that's a big chunk.
Whew, somebody's gonna have a big mess to clean up when I'm done.
Yeah. Wow, are you gonna have anything left?
Well, I remember as I was picking this year, I didn't see as many new ones coming up this year, which I wouldn't mind if we have a little bit smaller crop next year. We had more blackberries than we knew what to do with. We sold a bunch, froze a bunch, made jam, made syrup, made everything.
So here we are, it's mid-October.
Yep.
And
It's going to be 80 today.
yeah, beautiful.
All right. Well, let me get the rest of these old dead ones cut out, and then I'll show you what I do with the new ones. The ones that will have berries on next year. The exciting part.
All right.
Well, it's fall in Pennsylvania. It was 80 degrees 4 days ago. It's been like 30 to 40 and windy the last few days. Today it's 72. So it's been like 4 days. We're finally getting back out here. So we got all the old canes cut out, the ones that had berries for this year. Now I have to find a way to make sense of what's left and tie it up and get it ready to grow for next year. So this guy has quite a few different branches. Like, look at this, here's a big one already. I'm gonna take this big one, tie it here, and normally you would nip off the end to make it split, but look, it's already split. So I'll just take one this way and the other one can go the other way.
So what's the theory? You're trying to, if you cut it, then it'll put a lateral?
Yeah, it'll shoot off laterals, yeah.
Okay.
And I will still watch this next spring. It'll get really long. I'll probably take the tip off of that and it'll shoot out. You get bigger berries. You might not get quite as many berries, you get bigger berries. And one thing I'm gonna do better this year is trim up everything from the bottom, because last year we were picking berries that were dragging on the ground. I didn't take off the bottom branches, so I'm gonna make sure I don't have any low branches that might bear berries. I don't want to be picking them on the ground because then the slugs were getting them too. So, pick my branch, and I actually wrap it around the branch twice, wrap it around the wire twice, and tie it off.
So that's two half hitches, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So that's that branch, but I'm going to take off some of this stuff on the bottom here. I want to be able to see the bottom and not have anything coming out too far down.
Wait a minute, let's look at those a little closer.
Just some of these little things on the bottom. Now, like, he's shooting off one here that might be able to go down to this wire. Some of it I'll have to wait till spring to see where they go.
All right, so how do you tell the difference between just a branch that they only come out a few inches and stop, or do they all keep growing?
Well, they'll all keep growing unless you tip them off. But now he looks like he got broken or frostbitten or something, so he stopped. But normally, let me show you one down here. Look at this guy. This is what they can do.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. See, I should have been watching him in the spring and tipped him earlier.
Okay.
So when I get down to this guy, he already has a lateral coming off here.
Okay.
I'm gonna probably cut him right here at this lateral. Take one this way, kind of train him that way, and this one that way, and he might shoot off even more.
Okay.
But yeah, but this whole thing, if I can cut it, goes.
Wow.
But sometimes they go crazy.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I could take that one big long thing and wind it all the way around the wire, but it seems like the longer they get, the smaller the berries get on the end. So you don't want too long of a branch. And like, look, here's another.
Okay.
This
so
guy,
ideally you'll have some from each major shoot putting laterals out on the top wire.
And maybe the bottom, but most likely just the top.
Okay.
It makes it a lot cleaner and a lot easier to pick. So yeah, it's just a matter of going through each one and trying to figure out what do I keep, what do I get rid of, and tying it up.
Yeah.
So, see what we can make sense with here.
Okay. And then you're looking for damaged.
Yes. I'll tell you, anything that's damaged and looks gross, take it out. And like this guy, I'm gonna have to think about this, because look, he's long. Look at that, there's another long one. So I might cut him off.
But you look at the very end, it's damaged anyway.
He's not real strong. He's not real strong. So I gotta decide, do I cut it off here or here?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking clear back here.
A lot of strategic decisions.
I want it as strong as possible.
And does it matter how far away you're supposed to be from a lateral where you cut it? Like there's a branch.
Well, I try to get it pretty close. I try to get it pretty close to where I'm cutting, close to a lateral.
Okay.
And then do I want to keep all these laterals? I might take this one out.
Okay.
I mean, some of this, I'm going to put a link below to a guy that really knows what he's talking about. He does this for a living. He made the most sense to me. He's the one I kind of model after most, but some of it's your own choices, what you want to do, how you want it to grow. Like I say, I don't want to be picking berries down low, so I'm going to keep them up high. But that's personal preference. I know one thing I do want to do next year, this lower wire, it will have some branches on it and they will hang down. I think we need to get another support to raise this up a little bit.
Okay.
It kind of sags,
Well,
especially when it's full of berries.
And when you make a decision here, look, this support's not where it's going to be. So
that one goes up.
Okay. So it's important to have your wires where they're going to be before you tie them up.
Yes, and just have a lot of support, because when those branches get on there full of berries, it's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And it weighs them down big time.
Yeah.
So now I just got to get to work cutting, tying, and trying to figure out what's going to go where. And as I'm looking at this plant, see, there's a little weak one. Look at this little weak guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's not strong at all, so he's going out of there. I want strong, like even this guy is weak right here.
Yeah.
I'm going to take him out. You want the strongest, healthiest branches remaining, canes. So that's the two on this side. I think I'll put the other two to that side.
Oh, that's true. You have to decide which direction.
Yeah, and you want them kind of pulled apart so there's air in the middle.
Okay.
And we have one that came up out here. They do send off runners and send out shoots places. Here's a blackberry that sprung up probably from that guy. So as soon as we get a little bit of rain, we haven't had any rain, we're going to dig that baby up and move him down the row. So, because he looks like a really healthy bush, just outside the frame. So here's another.
So you couldn't really do this if you didn't have the. You need
the trellis. You need the wire.
Trellis, yep.
Some kind of a guide. Yeah. So look at this guy. Look.
Oh my.
He's done that all summer. Okay. So I'm going to cut him off clear back to here.
So do some people wait till wintertime actually?
Yes, till they're completely dormant. I don't know. This guy didn't. The guy I was watching, he was actually pruning it as there was still some berries left on it. Like it was at the very tail end.
Yeah.
And to me, it makes sense to do it this way because it actually does grow a little bit more. If we have some more weather, it'll shoot out some things right now. But I like doing it when I can really see what's happening and it's not as dry and brittle. When sometimes in the winter and the dormant ones, they can be brittle. But like this guy has a million laterals coming off.
Well, I see why you waited till you took out the current year.
Yes. Oh, canes. You wouldn't be able to see what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm going to try to tie these guys here.
So the berries, so next spring when this grows, there's going to be more growth on these canes,
There'll be a lot more growth.
And then the fruit can still go on the extensions of these canes next year?
Yeah, because it's second year cane.
Okay. The mother is the second year cane, but any additional growth, it can still have berries.
They do. Anything that comes out on this cane can end up having blossoms and berries. Okay. And this guy, look how long that lateral already is. I'm going to tip him off.
Okay.
Because he might even send out shoots at the end, more berries. So I'll tie him. I'm going to nip him. Notice they're all hims.
Yeah.
I'm going to nip him and nip this one.
Is that because they're wild and out of control? Is that why they hims?
And yeah, well, I guess that would make sense, wouldn't it? Well, because there's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 really healthy canes coming out of there, and that's plenty.
All right.
And this guy, I might want to try to get him to come down here. So I will nip him roughly here, and hopefully he'll shoot some laterals out that can go on there either way.
Okay.
Unlike this guy, he's just a little one, but if I nip him, he'll probably shoot out laterals. Same with this guy. I'll just nip him there. He can shoot out laterals. And this guy already has laterals.
Okay.
But again, I'm going to take off the one. Well, let me think about this. Since there isn't anything going that way, he only has one good cane, I might let all the laterals on, take one to this wire, and two to this wire.
You're going to straddle 2 wires?
Yeah.
Or what if you twisted this one back?
Well, I'm going to have a lot of things over on this line.
Okay.
So
well, that's true.
I don't have much over there. I need something.
Over here.
So I can easily pull this one to that, and that one to that one.
Okay.
So I'll tie it and you can come back and see how it looks when I'm all done tying it off.
All right.
I think it'll work. Okay, this job's done for the year. All the old canes are cut out, new canes are trimmed up, tied up, ready for spring.
Awesome.
And now I'll have to do some upkeep in the spring as they start, they just start growing like crazy in the spring and summer. And I'll be trimming them up from the bottom and kind of aiming things a certain way and tying them up. So there's still work to do in the spring, but this is the biggest, hardest part. It's like the framework. It's ready to go, ready for lots of blackberries next year. So as soon as we get some rain, we'll move that one down there, up there where there's nothing, and fill it in. We'll have more blackberries.
Okay.
But for now,
like,
what?
show us on here. Just trace the.
See, this guy's kind of wild and woolly, and I left him a little bit wild and woolly. I'm not sure which ones are going to be stronger. I probably should take these two out. But he's got a lot of laterals, so I'm going to let some of them go, and come spring, I'll probably take some of them out. But he's definitely, if you notice, there's nothing near the bottom.
Yeah.
Anything that could be a lateral on the bottom is out. Anything like below this wire. If it comes out and I can put it on this wire, that's fine. But I don't want it below the wire.
Okay.
So, we'll see. I mean, every year is a little bit different depending on weather and stuff, but it's poised and ready to grow some blackberries.
So how do you feel about it? Because I'll tell you, after I prune a fruit tree, I always have a little knot in my gut of like, oh, look what I did to this tree.
It's naked.
Is it going to survive? Do I know what I'm doing? This is awful.
You really do have to prune it. But if you saw some of those long branches, I mean, they grow so much.
Yeah.
And I mean, by midsummer, it's going to be so thick you won't be able to see through here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and
it looks terrible now, but come spring, I mean, you look at the raspberries, the black raspberry, they all look just really bad right now because there's not many leaves on them. But they will fill out and grow and produce berries.
Yeah, that's what I have to remind myself, is that there will be new shoots coming off these canes and they will produce as well.
Yes, a lot of them.
Yeah.
So now I just have to show you the bonus of how to propagate elderberries.
All right.
Okay, elderberries. This is really easy. Now, since we had 4 days between the times I trimmed the elderberries and now they were kind of dry, I didn't want to trust those, so I cut fresh ones from the chicken yard. I have elderberries everywhere. And all you want to do is, right after you do some trimming, cut off the leaves, and then cut a section that has at least like 2 or 3 nodes. Okay, so any new roots will come out from the nodes. Here's one set of nodes where there were leaves.
Wait, let's get a close-up of that.
Right there. And then right up here's another set.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to get both of those in the ground so they can shoot off roots and the elderberry will actually pop out up here.
Okay.
And believe me, it works. We did this last year and we had 1 million elderberries. That's how you propagate an elderberry. So that's all there is to it.
So you don't have to be a horticulturalist to do that.
Cut them, get at least 2 or 3 nodes, stick it in the ground. You keep it watered then. Like we will keep it watered if it doesn't rain right now. So that's it for today. I showed you how I trim blackberries, and I am going to link to the expert so you can actually see an expert doing it. And this is propagating elderberries, a little bonus. We'll see you in our next video. Bye-bye.